Okay, so picture this. There's this viral video, like 500,000 views, and it's claiming AI is becoming some kind of conduit for, wait for it, demons.
Demons.
Yeah, demons. It sounds like, the start of some crazy sci-fi horror movie, right? And that's kind of why we're diving into this today. I've got this article about all this cutting-edge tech, AI, robotics, even quantum communication, and it's really digging into like all the anxieties around it. We're going to try to figure out what's got everyone so spooked about the future.
Right.
And this whole like demonic portal thing, it actually plays on something the article points out, it seems like throughout history. Anytime there's some new tech that seems, I don't know, powerful or whatever, people immediately jump to fear. It's like this reflex.
It really is. Like, think about when electricity was first introduced. People were convinced it was dangerous, unnatural, even, yeah, you guessed it, demonic.
Right.
It's so interesting how history repeats itself. And then there's the printing press. Some people thought it was going to be the downfall of civilization. The article ties this all back to AI by talking about the black box problem, this idea that we don't always get how these algorithms actually work.
It's true. It's like magic sometimes.
Exactly. And that lack of understanding, it can lead to some pretty wild theories and anxieties, right?
And speaking of things that seem like they're straight out of a movie, this article talks about robotics, specifically these new robot dogs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, incredible, amazingly agile and all that, but seeing one in action is like, whoa, cool, but also kind of creepy,
Yeah, I get that.
So no wonder people start thinking about Terminator and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Well, hold on. Let's not jump to the robot uprising just yet. The article actually does a good job of showing how AI-powered robots could be incredibly beneficial, especially in healthcare.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Imagine robots assisting surgeons with super delicate procedures or providing care for the elderly. That's the kind of potential we're talking about here.
Okay, that's amazing, but I can also see how people might be a bit wary.
Totally. It's not about the robots becoming like evil masterminds or anything. It's about us, humans, making sure we're developing and using these technologies ethically and responsibly.
So it's about being careful and thoughtful about how we integrate these things into our lives.
Exactly.
Okay, so get ready to have your mind blown because now we're talking about quantum communication. This is where things get really wild.
Oh, yeah, this is some next level stuff.
The article explains how quantum communication makes traditional communication methods look like we're sending smoke signals, basically.
It's exponentially faster. It's unbelievable, really.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really interesting and a little out there. The article suggests that if there are any aliens out there, they might already be using this to talk to each other across galaxies.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds crazy at first, right? But the article backs it up with some pretty solid science. There are real scientific principles behind this idea.
So it's not just like science fiction rambling.
No, not at all. And it gets even more mind-blowing when the article connects this to AI and quantum computing. Think about it. We're always looking for alien life through telescopes, but what if the first contact comes from deciphering quantum signals that we pick up here on Earth?
Whoa, that's wild.
Right. I mean, it really makes you think.
It definitely does. Okay, so from the edges of the universe now back down to Earth, this article covers it all. One of the things that really jumped out at me was the idea of growing personalized blood in a lab, like
Oh.
using stem cells to create blood.
That's right. It's a game changer.
Seriously, I mean, this could completely revolutionize healthcare, right? No more donor shortages, no more compatibility issues. It can even transform disaster relief efforts.
Exactly. It's a medical marvel in the making, really. And, when you think about it, for people with rare blood types or conditions like leukemia, it's huge. I mean, finding a match is so hard, this could actually save lives.
Absolutely, it's a game changer for sure.
It really is. And this article is just full of mind-blowing medical stuff. It also talks about brain-computer interfaces. It even mentions a company called Synchron. Yes, Synchron. They're like giving Neuralink a run for their money in that whole brain-computer interface world.
Okay, I've heard of Neuralink, obviously, but not so much about Synchron. What's their deal?
Well, Neuralink gets all the hype because, Elon Musk.
Right, right.
But Synchron is doing some seriously groundbreaking work. They're developing brain-computer interfaces that could be, like, completely revolutionary for people with disabilities,
Is that like what the article was talking about with that ALS patient, the one controlling a device just with their thoughts? That was amazing.
Exactly. That's the kind of thing they're working on. The article really highlights how this tech could give people a level of independence and control that was, like, unthinkable before.
Yeah, no kidding. That's incredible. But the article does touch on, some potential downsides to all this progress, too. It seems like there's a concern that AI, instead of creating a more equal playing field, could actually make things worse.
Oh, absolutely. It's something the article brings up, this worry that AI might actually increase inequality, especially in a capitalist system, you know?
Right,
And they
right.
use the example of like targeted advertising, how these algorithms are already being used to influence our choices, maybe even push people deeper into debt.
Yeah, it's a bit Big Brother-ish when you think about it.
It is, and it's something we need to be aware of, especially as AI becomes more and more integrated into our lives.
Totally. It's almost like the article is saying, hey, this awesome future we're always hearing about with all the cool tech. Yeah, it could be amazing, but make sure you're using it thoughtfully. Or it might not be so utopian after all.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about rejecting progress or being afraid of technology. It's about understanding the potential consequences, good and bad, and then making sure we're using these advancements in a way that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Right, because it's not just about the tech itself. It's about how we choose to use it. It's
Yeah.
like we have all this power at our fingertips, but with great power comes great responsibility or something like that, right?
Yeah. Exactly. It's about being mindful and making conscious choices about how we want these technologies to shape our world, our future.
Yeah, it's about going deeper, being more than just a user.
Yeah.
It's about being an informed citizen in this whole tech landscape we're living in.
Basically leveling up our awareness along with the tech itself. Right.
Exactly. And that's where, articles like this come in. They get people thinking critically about all this, asking the important questions.
Because it's real,
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
isn't just some abstract stuff anymore. The article talks about AI potentially making inequality worse, robots that are like straight out of science fiction. It makes you wonder how long until what seems cutting edge today is just like everyday life. Right, and I think that's what's so clever about how the article is written. It doesn't shy away from those what ifs, even the really out there ones like demons in the machine or aliens using quantum entanglement to chat.
It's like by even letting us consider those possibilities, even for a minute, it shows us something about our own anxieties about the future.
Totally. It makes you question all those stories we tell ourselves about
Yeah.
technology, the utopian dreams, the dystopian nightmares.
And the reality is probably somewhere in between, right?
Most likely, yeah. And I think the article wants to push us to go beyond those simple stories to really grapple with the complexity of it all.
It's a lot to think about. So I think it's safe to say today wasn't just us geeking out about cool new tech, although, we definitely did some of that.
We did. We did.
This deep dive was about going deeper, right? It was about digging into these bigger questions the article brings up. How do we deal with this crazy, fast-changing world of tech? What are we hoping for? What are we afraid of when we think about the future?
And maybe the biggest question of all, how do we help shape this future in a way that's good for everyone?
Big questions for sure. This whole conversation, it kind of reminds me of that feeling you get after you finish a really thought-provoking book or a movie and your brain's buzzing and you just want to talk about it with someone.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. There's so much to unpack,
Right?
right?
Exactly. And hopefully that's what this deep dive has done for our listeners today, sparked some curiosity, maybe challenged some assumptions, and left everyone with more questions than answers.
Because that's where the real exploration begins, right?
It is. And honestly, who knows what the future holds? Some of the most amazing discoveries are probably still ahead of us. Like, maybe those quantum messages really are out there, just waiting for us to figure them out.
Yeah.
That's a pretty awesome thought to end on, don't you think?
It really is. The possibilities are endless.
They are. So until next time, everyone, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep into the unknown.